Happy rising, family. Well, a lot came into my consciousness especially this past weekend when I did something different because of something my sister shared, and I resonate with her. Well, most of the times, and she shared something that truly aligned deeply within me, because I feel, well, the pulling of the void, and I've also experienced that since the beginning of this year, in February, when I reconnected to, my true voice, I came home in my 0 point, the nothingness. And harmonic point of peace. And ever since that moment, I'm so peaceful. And everything becomes so clear. And I have the conversation again with my inner voice, of the essence of my soul. And I shared in a video before about the dream I had in 2013 and the feeling of the pulling of that. And she explained that about the void, because I always go to sleep and I align myself to the void, and I always sleep great, and it feels like home, the void. And but the thing I hadn't done before, she talked about it, that when we enter the void, we align to the void, where we meet the essence of our soul, but also the memory, of course. And a lot for me came to the surface ever since the beginning of this year. But this past weekend, I thought it was Friday, before I went to sleep, I set out the intent of, going back into the void, being there with the essence of my soul, but this time take everything into my bones, the memories of my soul essence into the bones. And why? Because my sister spoke about that, about taking it into your bones, your electric magnetic, system. That's how she called it. And so I did. And so much became clear after that. So thank you, Lalita, my beautiful sister in Vermont. Because everything is reversed, within this prison matrix. So also the spiritual teachings and mystic teachings, it's all in reverse. And I have felt, during my awakening process, that every time I embodied a new frequency, I wasn't going higher, I was going deeper, deeper into my core, deeper into the essence of my soul. So they tell us we need to connect to our highest light. And I've called that for a very long time my highest light. But this weekend it was like, no, I have to stop calling it my highest light, because it's not what it is. It is my deepest frequency within. It's my it's my soul essence who talks to me, my soul essence, the voice of my soul essence, that is realigned to the void, to 0 point, in harmonic balance. So, we don't. So a lot has changed for me this past weekend, and so I've decided to stop using the word highest light, because it's not what it is. It's our deepest voice. It's our deepest soul essence. We go in and we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And the way out is the way in. And we don't go higher, higher and higher and higher. No, we are going deeper and deeper and deeper within. And that just so fully resonates with me. I don't know about you, but with me it fully resonates. So, and the same with the geometry. They brought in, the closed flower of life, and and the black box, the cube and the Merkaba, and lots of other things, geometry things, the platonic shapes, etc. It's all within, because the geometry I have experienced that were crucial in very big transformative moments, in very deep embodiments of soul frequencies, activations within. They were geometry shapes, not from this person matrix, nothing like that. So I also believe that we have all the geometry we need within, it's all within. It's all within. And the same with the galactics. It's also within. It's when we go through the layers, and we go through so many layers. There are so many layers, and every time we become aware of a layer, we look at it, we give it our love. In a way, we override the false coding with our, soul essence source codings. We also know as fire codes. And then, a false light layer disappears, or a karmic encoding disappears, but there are so many layers, because we have experienced so many resets. I believe we have been in this prison reset karmic cycle for about, I don't know, maybe for me it feels like I believe it's like, I don't know, 20, I think it's 23,000 years, something like that, because 23, I will come to that number, and we all have our own unique pathway we have to walk and encode, with our true soul essence codes. and open it up again, you know, to go home. And so that's the mission, you know. The awakening journey is the mission. You know, there is no mission. You know, that's something in the future. There is no mission. The mission we have is to open up the pathway that is part of our soul essence, the pathway that will lead us back home to our soul essence that is aligned to 0 point and to the void, the nothingness where everything is being reborn. You know, it's where form is formless and where formless is form, you know. It's where, well, it's like everything is possible there. And yeah, so for me, my soul essence, you heard me talk about the moon curse before, a few videos back. And that was part of my path, one of my layers. And you heard me talk about the numbers 2348. That became clear for me, and that was that's my pathway, 2348. And it's part of my soul essence. So it's like I needed to work through 23 element layers and 48 mineral layers within. And within every layer, I stumbled upon a program, a matrix program. So sometimes very small and very short, you know, and sometimes very big, and but lots and lots of karmic imprints and well, mind control programs, well, etc., 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 parasites, etc., 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 so many. So that was my mission, you could say. This incarnation, this reset round, but I also believe it goes further back, you know, so it's the journey within this reset karmic cycle of the prison matrix. The mission was to get back home, so, you know, unlock all those false layers and you know, and activate our true essence, our true soul essence codes. And so we create the pathway, you know, back home to our true and deepest soul essence. Not highest, no, deepest soul essence. So, yeah. So for me, I had to go, there were 71 layers, codes were part of my soul essence that are part of the way I understand it now, the elementary the elementary first earth before before the first earth experience. And then I'm not talking about this prison cycle we are in for what, like 23,000 years, but before that. And there we already had a physical earth experience, and you know, a harmonic, beautiful, peaceful loving, divine earth experience. But even before that, that earth, that's where my codes, elementary codes, and the 2348 pathway are aligned to my deepest original soul essence. So you could say the nature and the animal world. And so I'm now well, aware of that, has entered my consciousness, and because of the intention to, well, place the soul essence through memories in my bone structure. So when I would wake up the next day, I could activate that and get access to those memories. So that's what I did. And I just had this huge clarity. And this whole weekend. And also with the moon, you know, I've talked about it, and I was guided to, when I entered the 23rd, well, you could say I was ready with 48, you could say, mineral layer codes, and working to the 23 elementary codes. And when I entered the 23rd elementary code layer, I was guided to, because a moon curse was present there, I was guided to, with sounds and the drum, and just create a pathway. And I was guided through my inner, true soul essence voice. And so I did. And I already told you in a video before that the moon is not what it seems to be. And I also told you in other videos that my whole incarnation here, this round, I have I don't like the moon. I don't like moon rituals. I don't like the full moon. I don't like the light of the moon. I never engage with the moon. I don't align to the moon. I don't like the moon. And I always thought it was because of a, you could say, a parasite, an entity that was present in my navel area. And that entity lived off the energy of the moon, the light of the moon. So when I got rid of that entity, that moon worm in a way, I figured, well, that must have been it, why I don't want to engage with the moon or the moon energies. But it stayed, it didn't left me. So up until this day, this moment, I never engaged with the moon. And but during that pathway I was guided to do, I needed to align to the the true coding of the moon. But so you could say, what's behind the moon, the original coding. So I needed to align to that, but I stumbled upon so many false light layers, but I needed to stumble upon those false light layers so I could recode it in a way and open up the pathway and to the original encoding, imprint, or no, it's not an imprint, but the original frequency. And and now it's just so clear. It's just, it's the white light we see, the white light we are guided to when we die in this prison cycle, karmic cycle matrix. We see the white light, and it's the moon. I know some of you are like, what? But it's the moon. And it's like a station. It's the reincarnation station. And it's where you could say, where they stock, how do you call it? Where they also keep the energy they harvest, you know. It's like a power source for the false light, and you know, it's like an incarnation station. So it's yeah, that's what came through, and it's and I always have to experience everything myself before I can fully, you know, take it in. So I have to see it, feel it, go through it, and so I did. And you know, that's the curse of the moon. You know, it's just an incarnation station. And why do you think they have all those rituals with the full moon? You know, it's harvesting energy. And why I had resistance against the moon and the light of the moon and my whole life, and it's this whole incarnation. It's because I work with the elementary codes. I work with purity, with organic, natural. So everything that's not organic or natural, I just automatically, you know, don't want to engage with. I don't want to take it in. I don't want to align to it. And you know, and the fun thing is when I believe it was 2012, I went to a shamanic weekend, and I spoke out the intent that I wanted that weekend. I wanted to renew my inner shamanic wisdoms, my inner shamanic powers, and I wanted to overcome my fear for the light. For the light, I wanted to overcome my fear for the light, and I just realized this weekend that I spoke that were the words I spoke before I went into that shamanic weekend. And why did I speak about the light? Why was I afraid of the light? You know, what is that? You know, well, I now know because you know, the highest light and the higher timelines and all that is higher, 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 and it's a distraction. I know for lots of you it's going to be a total shock what I'm sharing, but it is what it is. It is what resonates with me. So yeah, and why I you know, because crazy shit happened after that weekend, you know. The crazy shit started, and the attacks, you know, the shapeshifters, and you know, the ones with the red eyes, and possessed people, and well, and gray ones, and you know, lots of crazy stuff. And it was, and it kept happening, you know, it kept happening up until the moment I decided, because I was so, you know, I was so losing it. I was just so out of balance and not feeling like myself. When I was brought into the forest, I kept going for that for a while, you know, calling upon and engaging with the Metatron cube and calling upon the angels and the gods and highest frequency and highest timeline, and I did that, and but the moment I saw myself disappear, into nothing, I looked into the mirror and there was nothing, and I saw the forest disappear into nothing, and it was. I was like, okay, so I'm in essence I'm nothing. So if I'm nothing, I'm everything at the same time. So everything is within me. So it's time I start to read and only read my inner book, just, if they say everything is within, well, I'm gonna read only my own inner book and align to my inner self, my inner soul, and only that. And when I started doing that, everything calmed down. Everything calmed down. And I was going so rapidly, you know, through the frequency embodiments and all the false layers and the karmic imprints and you name it. So my journey accelerated, and so it all makes sense now. It all makes sense to me, and I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So yeah, so we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and I remember that the first true journey, experience I had was even before 2012, where I was going through a some kind of water spiral, but it was very dark, and but at the same time there was this aquamarine, the color behind me, you see, in combination with blue and silver, was in the water, and I was going so rapidly, and then I just, I was above the water. It stopped, and it was like I was, I don't know where I was, because there was nothing. There was nothing, and I made a painting out of it because I didn't understand what it was, but there was nothing, it was the nothingness. That's how my journey started. It was my soul essence already telling me, oh my love, the nothingness, that's your doorway out of this matrix, get to your 0 point and your harmonic 0 point, align to the nothingness, the void. So, but I started painting that experience, but I was just, but I was like, well, no, I cannot, there must be something there, there must be something there. There can be nothing. So I I painted some planets, and also in the painting. But in essence, in the experience I had, there was nothing at all. So, like a blank sheet, and everything from formless can take form, So, yeah. Well, I think that's what I felt like sharing. I feel it's important to share now. Yeah, and also about the waves, the dreams, many of us have about the waves, the 3 waves. I also experienced them in 2013. I had my dreams of the waves, and it was like a tsunami. And I was standing on top of the dunes, and I saw it coming, and nobody else saw it coming. Only I saw the wave coming. And the first time I just stepped into my car and got my dogs, and I just drove like crazy all the way to Germany. And then the second time in the dream, I did the same thing. You know, I stepped into the car and drove away through the dunes and the forest and all the way to Germany. And then the third time, the wave came. It had changed in substance. You know, it was more light, then it was water. It was still dark, but it was sparkly. So it's and it had you know, it was like that spiral, water spiral I was going through in colors and in water. So more crystalline water. I don't know, cosmic water, more cosmic water. I think cosmic water, because when I align to the void, I always, is it still working? I don't know. Yeah, because when I align to the void, I always feel that I'm in very deep waters, you know, like purifying waters. And if it are the soul waters or the cosmic waters, but water is definitely present within the void. So that third wave came, and in that moment I decided it's okay, you know. So I sat down, and it just gave me a very, how do you call it? A very purified, pure feeling. I cannot describe it otherwise. So, and yeah, so I was like, okay, well, and then, and the years after, many came out with the same dreams and the waves and different perceptions and different experiences, and also back in the 80s and in the 70s, there were also, you know, souls who had experiences, dreams about the three waves. So I just want to say that it's all within. So I feel in this now moment, seen and believed and experienced through the consciousness I'm embodying now, that the way out will be in divine timing, and it will be through your own pathway. And as soon as you're home, you know, you've been through the layers and you've activated your soul essence source codes within every layer, so you overwritten in a way all the false light layers, programs that were put upon you, and you can speed up that process. I believe in the now is if you align consciously to the void, to 0 point, and so you can get the soul essence and the memories that are part of your soul essence become more clear in a faster way. And I also believe you need to take it into your bones. That's what I did, and it works. So, and yeah, and in the meantime, just you know, keep doing your work, of course, but see it for what it is. It's all programs that are put upon you, and the outside screen, you know, the pulp movie, the pulp movie Agenda 2030. Well, I would, yeah, you know, get your popcorn and just enjoy the show for as long as we are here, and don't wait for anything, you know. Just know that you are already there, and in divine timing, you know. Yeah. we go home. And I feel I am already home, you know. I'm home in my soul essence, and it's so peaceful and so harmonic, and if it's time, I will leave. And through the void, yeah, that's what I feel is the way out. And I also feel that it was the way in for me also, if it makes sense. So do not wait for anything, or, I talked about the 24th of September because, some politician had told that we were gonna remember that day exactly where we were. So, yeah. So my soul family and I, we were ready, We were like, yay, the show must go on, and let's see what pulp movie enters the screen. The 24th of September. We were ready with, lots and lots of popcorn. But, nothing happened. So, no pulp movie that day. But, just enjoy the show. Don't take everything so seriously. And home is within you. And you are creating your own, you are reactivating your own pathway. And back home to your 0 point, in alignment to the void. That's, well, that's what I felt like sharing, because it's a very big thing for me. And it resonates so deeply. And maybe it helps for some of you out there. And only take in what resonates for you. And of course, well, that's it for now. Thank you all for joining me and during this talk, and thank you for the sweet words I received, loving words I received from some of you who are watching my videos. Thank you for your emails and your kind comments here on YouTube. So, well, that's it for now. Love to you all, and we'll talk soon. Bye.